On the shelves now is a riveting true crime book whose pages are unraveling the lies, secrets, and conspiracy that let a killer go free here in Ohio's own Amish community. Here to tell us more about this story is New York Times #1 best-selling author Gregg Olsen. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Rachel, I'm really glad to be here. Appreciate it.
And I am really excited to hear about your new book, The Amish Wife. So please tell us what that is.
It's really about digging back into the past, my own past, and the past of the people that are in the story, because it's all true. So I wrote a book 30 some years ago called Abandoned Prayers about an Amish serial killer from Wayne County. And in that case, there was the mysterious death of his wife. So all these years later, I get a call from a librarian in Minnesota that says an Amish guy wants to talk to you about his sister. And I think, okay, what is it? And I go up there to Amish country and he says, it's time to tell the truth.
And including Abandoned Prayer, you've written a number of true crime books that are set within the Amish community. So tell us, what draws you and fascinates you about this culture?
Well, I love the Amish community, for one. I find the Amish people to be kind, hospitable, funny, everything that we are, or maybe even better than we are at some of those things. You know, what people want to say hardworking, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, they're fully rounded people, just like everybody else. They love their children. They love being together and working hard together as a family. And I admired that. I always have.
And your adjectives about the Amish community may differ from the preconceived notions that many people have about the Amish community. So, can you please dive in further of what the reality is and how that differs from those stereotypes?
Yeah, see, those stereotypes, Rachel, are things that emerged over television in the last few years with the Amish mafia and Breaking Amish and the Amish witches of Holmes County. There's all these TV shows that have portrayed the Amish in a negative light. And that's not to say that they don't have serious problems of their own, because they are people. So they do have, incidents of abuse of all kinds, just like everybody else, but they try to deal with them within their own community. And whether that works or not, I don't really know. But I think that the preconceived notion we have about them is they're mysterious and strange. And I want to say they're just like us.
And we were talking earlier about the differences in time it takes for you to write one of your true crime books and a fictional crime book. So tell us about the challenges that you face with this being a true crime book and having your characters be real people with real stories to tell, but also getting them to tell you the truth.
That's right. Thing about the whole thing, Rachel, about writing nonfiction is it's a huge honor to tell someone else's story. I mean, you know that everybody in the news business should feel that way. It's like it's seriously important work to do. So that means, you're kind of relying on them to help you, and you're also helping them at the same time. So for me, like with a fiction book, I could write that fiction book in maybe 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. But with a nonfiction book, particularly with the Amish who have no phones, you can't make an appointment unless it's by a letter. It's a challenge to get where you want to go and be there and use your time wisely, because I went to a lot of interviews where I had to wait like 6 hours for somebody to show up because they were in town, or I would go chase their buggy down to try to find them. It's just harder, but it's also worth it because I think they want to tell their story just as much as we want to hear it. I could get emotional about this because the most gratifying part is here is a woman who died in a fire in 1977, and the authorities in Wayne County just brushed it aside. Now, I'm hoping that community in Ohio or Wayne County or Holmes County, the Amish and the English, are going to say, let's fix this. I feel we're so close to saying that she was murdered by her husband. It was not an accidental death. She did not have a bad heart. She was fully dressed when she was found, supposedly, in the middle of the night, emptying milk pails during the fire, when she was like almost 7 months pregnant. So we know all of this is false, and the most gratifying part, I believe, is yet to come, and that is for the county officials to say the truth.
And you have written dozens of books, so tell us, where else can your readers go to not just purchase Abandoned Prayer and The Amish Wife, but also find your other works?
My website is notorioususa.com.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to not just tell us about The Amish Wife, but to tell us the stories within all of your books. It was a wonderful pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Olsen.
I enjoyed it so much. Thanks you.